Hello, weary pony, buzzing tour. Welcome back to the incredible podcast that unfortunately no one talks about. I, you know, I've had a change of heart. You know, I noticed that not a lot of people like my gags. Not a lot of people like me, and I wish to change it all. I wish to appeal to the masses and be incredible. And you know, As an incredible My Hero Academia fan, I love to be a hero. I want to be the hero in everyone's lives. I want to be the main character in everyone's lives because I am the main character. Give me $500. Anyways, uh, oh, you know, my favorite anime of all time, it's got to be My Hero Academia. You know, I love all the cool characters that I love all the cool characters that are definitely not overrated and everyone just likes because they're fucking stupid. Um, and my favorite character has got to be Bakugo. Bakugo matches my energy. I can Bakugo, and oh, he's so cool. I need to fucking watch my tone. I'm like 19. um, you know, I like anime. I love it. I love my my Pookie Schmookie, Bakugan. Oh, my sweetie Bakugan. Oh, how dreamy, And it reminds me of a lot of incredible other pieces of anime out there, There's Naruto. I love Naruto. It definitely makes sense to me and I understand it all, you know. And I also like One Piece. I like One Piece. I definitely read past Arlington Park. And Sui Mama is Nami one. Holy Mama is Nami a incredibly cute character. And I think I might have a crush on her. She's so perfect to me. And I like them with a little sass. Anyway, um, you know, today's podcast might be a little bit shorter because, I want to get my opinions out there. I want to get my good opinions, not the bad opinions. I think, oh my God.
Sunloaf.
I think this Coliseum or in games like that, they're just books. Who's gonna read, the lazy words? I need pictures. I need to see the action. And One Piece does that for me. And there's other cool games. There's Fire Emblem Three Houses. Ooh, it would have been cooler if Fire Emblem Three Houses just wasn't really boring. All the characters are just kind of lame. They look boring, except for the girls. Every character looks lame, and I don't know. They all kind of suck. Oh my god, dude, my friends are gonna fucking skin me alive. uh, and I, you know, Fire Emblem would be more cooler if we could get to know more of the girls, because they talk way too much about men. I don't want to know about Dimitri. He's just some angry boy. Like he's fucking most boring backstory. I need characters with awesome personalities. Like what's his name? Get the fucking Google it. Listen, Hubert, Hubert, Fire Emblem. No, fuck. I need to fuck. I need to know more about the girl characters and have some of the cool characters be strong and awesome. I unfortunately can't remember his name, but oh, there's a guy out there. He's so cool. But enough Fire Emblem. Another cool anime that I really, really, really like, and I think that a lot of you guys would like, is Danganronpa. You know, Danganronpa, Trigger Havoc, the second one, and the third one. Oh, they're all so cool. I like the concepts behind them. You know, I think Teru. He's a character from that first one. He's like, I think his name is Teru. No, I might be misremembering, but I know a character in the Danganronpa franchise who goes by Teru, and that guy is my favorite. Oh fuck! Do. I need to be euthanized. My favorite character, and a lot of people just don't understand. They just don't understand. Oh, dude, I cannot. Oh my god. Oh, this is the ninth take of me doing this. I am not redoing it. Happy April Fool's Day, by the way. If you skipped to the end of the video, then you're safe. There won't be any pranks. I'm done doing the stupid bit, and my fan just turned on. So that's, if you hear it, then whatever. Yeah, happy April Fool's Day. Everything I said for the past 7 minutes, for the past like 7 minutes or whatever, that was not me. That was a goblin, actually. A goblin snuck into my house. Started talking on my phone and how he likes my Hero Academia and all that shit. And then I curb stomped him and blew his brains out. There's a smidge on the floor now. I love cool stuff. Again, apologies for if I kind of just killed you. This video is gonna get negative views, negative of everything, and that's fine. This is the second April Fool's gag. I had 3 planned. This is the second one. Well, it's technically 2 of them because, I did for April Fools, I have 3 gags. I wanted to be a little bit special today. But yeah, my first gag was, it was a gag to kind of annoy all my friends visually. Basically, I'm just going to, because I'm on theme with it now, I'm going to change my profile picture to the thumbnail, to the image on this video, which is the Danganronpa drawing of my persona, or my little character. Yeah, I'm going to be wearing that for the entirety of April Fools until until the day is over. My second gag was this, and this was also a crack idea that came out of nowhere. Like the third gag, but let's talk about the second. The second gag is an audible gag. Something to disturb your ear, something to, kind of scare you. But it's fun. Some of these gags are just a bit too over the top. I couldn't keep the anime fanatic voice, the anime fanatic gag for a long time because it genuinely hurts my throat, and I could only do it for like around 7 minutes. But gag's a gag. Then the third gag, that is a little private thingy. It's a little private thingy that only a few people will understand, and it's more of like a little inside joke between me and someone and some other people. And it's also me announcing that, I'm working on a project, on something that's awesome, and not fucking steamy pile of dog shit like this. Um, but yeah, I like to be a little bit over the top when it comes to April Fools because I like pissing people off in a friendly manner. Not like, oh well, this person is just gonna shame me, shame me, shame me. I like pissing people off occasionally, which is kind of stupid, kind of dumb, and probably shouldn't be doing because it's kind of unhealthy. But yeah, I like pissing people off, and it's funny to just be like Lamau rage baited, and yeah, it just happens, I guess. Um, I didn't have anything else planned. I really just had, the entire anime personality planned. That's all I had. So I'm gonna have to not clickbait people and be like, this is the anime episode. This is the episode where I talk about anime. And, you know, I really couldn't think of many more gags on the fly because, although I did have a list, uh, the list was just quickly made. I made my Hero Academia jokes. I made slander, talk about cringe. I sounded like a schizophrenic. But yeah, now we're getting into the real meat, the real good part, the good part, the fries. No, not the fries. The meat of the plate. You know, one of my favorite medias and animes out there would actually have to be Delicious in Dungeon, or and some people also call it, Dungeon Meshi, because that's what it's called, Dungeon Meshi Delicious in Dungeon, because it's in concept a very crack question on first impression, because monsters, it's like it's D&D, but it's just like D&D, but it's basically a little, not little, it's an anime where a party loses a member of their party, and after some members disband, they go back in the dungeon, and even they have no food, no water, and in order to survive the depths of the dungeon, they go on and eat monsters instead of regular animals. And as they traverse inside this dungeon, things are starting to seem out of place. Things are starting to be seen in a different way. You get to see some friendly faces from the previous party. We get to see new characters. We get to understand the story of the dungeon itself because it's a dungeon. Monsters appear from it, but I'm not gonna talk a lot about it. I in concept of my first in my the first impression that I've seen of it, which is like why don't you just eat the monsters? It's like a crack question, or like a very insane question one person could ask. That's like very out there. A hypothetical that you could build upon. Um, and I like that. I like ideas that are just. Ugh, sorry, I'm like internally dying from the anime gag. Uh, I like insane questions. One of my a lot of my projects really just kind of fell because they didn't have much purpose. Um, they didn't have much built into it. It starts they all start with a neat concept, but they don't go anywhere because there is no strong foot or anchor from it. Um, and a lot of my recent projects are just like they're questions, As in this one was, oh well, how can I be as obnoxious as possible? You know, well, this episode in particular, but the podcast idea was like, well, what if I just start talking into a microphone? What if I just start letting my lungs out now that I have the time? Um, well, it seems that that idea is going rather smooth. I think the fifth episode is going to be the last one I do for a while because of, timely manner. I spent too much time not recording. But, 5 episodes, not bad for starting out with the time I have. I'll still have to record the fifth episode because, should be the fourth one. This should be the fourth one, which will be releasing on the 1st of April. And that is the reason why this podcast is so like dog shit, you know? Because the stars perfectly aligned, and Tuesday is the days that I usually upload. So the stars aligned, and I had to just get that out there. I had to get this idea quickly before it got bad. But couldn't keep up to the bit. I tried my best, and I still have to I still have to finish my other April Fool's gag. I got more gags. I have one more gag I need to polish. But as of recording, I don't think I think I'll be. As of recording, I haven't finished it, but when this releases, it should be done. My gag should be all in place. I'm gonna see the world fall apart. But yeah, not really a lot I can do. Back to the my project. My projects I'll start with questions. This one was just what if I talk into a microphone. I have another project. It's my original character project, which I've been kind of putting aside so I can work on my April Fool stuff and another project. But it's a little personal art project, a little personal writing project, with my original characters, And oh, I gotta turn that off. That's my notification sound. There. And it started like every other project I do. I should make these characters, this fictional character race, and try to build upon it. And I have everything I need to kickstart it. I just haven't found a good way to do it. I need to actually build a story progression for it. And it's a bit tough, it's a bit hard, but I'm pulling through. I'm doing what I can. And that also goes for another one of my projects, which is Homestuck related, and I don't think a lot of people want to hear about that. The other April Fool's idea gag I had instead of this one was, well, what if I just talk Homestuck? But that's just not funny. It's not funny enough. So I just have to be as cringe as possible. Hold on, let me drink this. Yummy. It's a drink. But yeah, a lot of projects just start out, but I don't really go far into making projects, and the only reason the projects I've been working have been going well because this project doesn't require a lot. It just requires me to talk, not to visualize anything except the thumbnails. But I think I'm set with the thumbnails. Not a lot I can do about that. The other projects are a bit tougher because I need to visualize things. I need to put them in the screen because I want people to see, not just read, but see what I have created, the things that I have actually done in my spare time. At least while I can still do them, but yeah. And I'm having a lot of problems because I cannot color code. I'm not a good person with coloring. I've received a lot of coloring tips from my friends that are awesome artists. And yeah, I've been doing what I can. And the Homestuck project especially has been doing well because personally, all the Homestuck designs are a bit sort of boring. they're simple, but they're kind of boring to some degree. But because they're kind of boring to some degree, and they're so also simple, I can just maintain that sort of style and at least make it not too boring, make it somewhat interesting. But, can't really do anything about the Homestuck thing. Every character looks kind of boring, but their writing is most of their writing is incredible. Most of it is like, oh well, this makes sense. This is interesting, And I'm gonna go to Homestuck rant over here because no, I'm not going to actually because that's gonna be the last episode. That's gonna be the Homestuck episode where I talk about Homestuck and all the characters that are, that I like. I'm gonna talk about the main cast of characters, from what I remember, because that's gonna be the Homestuck episode. Ugh. Ugh. April Fools, by the way. But yeah, this episode was a bit shorter than usual, mostly because I am a bit low on energy. But that doesn't mean that I'll have to just stop it immediately or whatever. Eh. But thank you so much, puppies. Thank you for listening to my incredible. Get fucked. No, sorry, that's mean. I'm sorry. Thank you for listening to most of my talk. I am ashamed of the first 7 minutes of this. Um, you know, I have to do something for April Fools. I have to, I have to be a little trickster. I have to be a little clown, you know. And I guess that's it. I'll catch you on the last, probably final episode. And if it's not the final episode, then I guess. But I do plan to just recording the last one. Well, the last one that I can do right now, and you know, I'll have that ready. I'll have that. It'll be a good way to end this little social experiment because it was a little social experiment. It's not a full on like dedicated project. It's a project that I could do because I have time. But that was it was a cool thing. Uh, I will catch you next episode. I'll leave more regards on that later when that releases. But thank you so much for being in the iconic podcast that for today no one talks about. Um, you can just leave now. Yeah, goodbye. Yummy.